Hi, everyone. Welcome to the virtual college exploration for all Ohio students, sponsored by the Ohio Association for College Admissions Counseling and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us today. Just a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type questions to our presenter today at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you today. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at oacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at that same website, oacac.org. I'd like to now turn it over to our presenter, Jacob Osterman from the University of Minnesota.
Thank you so much, Dana. So right now, I don't see anybody joining us right now, and that's okay. This is still a recording that you can absolutely, I want to go through this presentation just like I normally would for those of you who are watching this later on. And then I'm going to make sure that I get my information at the end of my presentation so that you have it, so that you can reach out to me whenever you feel the need to. So this presentation today, it takes me about 30 minutes. It is very picture heavy. For those of you that watch this, my assumption is that you have not been able to visit campus. You know, we are a fair distance away from like the Columbus, Cleveland, or Cincinnati area. And also with COVID-19, it has made it very tough to see campus. So I'm going to have a lot of pictures today to try to showcase our campus for you all. So what you're seeing right now is actually the second floor of our student union. It's our Kaufman Memorial Union looking out amongst our quad here, like you see just out here. You have our educational buildings all around it, and at the end is Northrop Auditorium, which is our it's our world-renowned kind of ballet, our high-end professional performances that come through our campus to showcase for our students as well. And then what you see right in front of you is actually our Metro Transit. This is our public train, city train from Minneapolis to Saint Paul. You hop this, you ride 4 stops, and you're in downtown Minneapolis, which is the skyline that you see on the left side here. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So to start us off, I'm first going to play a video. This is actually created by our athletics department. It's supposed to actually showcase some of the fun things about Minneapolis and our campus to make it appealing for possible athletes. It is a very short video and it showcases a little bit of our athletic facilities, but I really like it because it showcases the fun things you can do in Minneapolis as well as good drone shots of our campus. So I recognize it was a very fast video. There's a lot that happened in it. So, you know, you saw, for example, we have Lake Bedeh-McCoska, named after our Native American roots. So Minneapolis is actually nicknamed the City of Lakes. There are 3 lakes that are chained together right in the heart of the Twin Cities, right in the heart of Minneapolis, that in the summer, you can go stand up paddleboarding, canoeing, sailing, you name it. Or maybe, you know, you saw our 6 professional sports teams, or some of them. You saw the Mall of America, which is the largest mall in the nation, and it has its amusement park on the inside of the mall, but it is a mall, so up to you if you're not a mall person. And then you also saw some, you know, of just the incredible nature that's also right in the heart of the city, like Minnehaha Falls. But what I also appreciate about this video was some overview shots of our campus. So you started seeing a little bit of our East Bank campus, and I really appreciate this photo right here, because it helps explain that our campus, so the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, we actually have kind of 3 parts or 3 campuses, we say. We have our Minneapolis East Bank campus, which is kind of our main hub. It's where that first video, your first picture you saw with the quad and the train, and most of our programs are on the East Bank. The reason it is called the East Bank is because it is built along the east bank of the mighty Mississippi River you see right here. Then you take this walk bridge, or maybe train or bus to get across this bridge, or bike. You get onto the West Bank campus, which is on the west bank of the Mississippi. This is where our business school is going to be housed, our Carlson School of Management, which is kind of right in this facility. Also, our arts programs are over here. So when you're thinking of acting, dance, music therapy, also on the West Bank campus. Our third portion is our Saint Paul campus, which is about a 10-15 minute bus ride away from East Bank. This houses our College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences, or CFANS for short. The reason that we have CFANS on this campus is that it has its own agricultural and cattle space for students to work with. So that is why it is over there. Now for the University of Minnesota, we have this mantra of come curious. By this, we expect that you as a prospective student are gonna come curious, come with that hunger of why it is that you wanna be further educated in the first place. What are real world questions that you are hoping to solve? Because we are a school with an immense amount of academic capability, study abroad, research capability, and real life experiences to help you be fully prepared to really tackle these questions. But we want you to come with that hunger and that drive and that advocacy to really seize and utilize them to make sure that you are really ready to tackle these questions by the time you graduate. So when we think of academics, first, we offer 150 majors and over 135 minors. We have a lot of different ways you can study. And actually, we even offer a depth of graduate school academics as well with over 180 programs. So if you kind of fall in love with maybe your educational career and you want to study beyond and get into more specialized study after your 4 years, absolutely, that is a path that you can take. Also, something unique about the University of Minnesota is we are one of few universities where we have a med school, dental school, law school, and veterinary school all in the same place. Now, we organize our majors is across 8 freshman admitting colleges. So when you apply to the University of Minnesota, you're not just applying to the university, but you're actually applying to your top 2 colleges of choice. So in this case, maybe your first choice major is mechanical engineering. Your first choice college is then the College of Science and Engineering. Your second choice major couldn't be chemical engineering because it's in the same college. So hopefully that makes sense. But in many cases, now you don't have to be committed to that major. This is just an example. You can definitely change your major once you're here. But in this case, maybe the student applies first choice mech engineering, College of Science and Engineering. Second choice, maybe computer science, which is in the College of Liberal Arts. So I want to talk about each of these today so that we can kind of familiarize, especially if you're not familiar with the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. I want to just talk about each of these colleges and where the programs are so you can kind of have a more fine-tuned search. So first, starting with the School of Nursing, this is our newest college, and that has been a college on campus for about 1.5 years now. Now our program, our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, has actually been the longest campus-based nursing program in the country. We've had it since 1909. But for a very long time, you had to be in the College of Liberal Arts for 1 year and then transfer in. And now it is a direct admitting program. You're applying straight in and starting right away your first semester freshman year. Now, it has pretty good outcomes for our students who complete the 4-year Bachelor of Science degree. There's the NCLEX exam, which is the licensing exam to become a registered nurse, an RN. 97% of our graduates pass that their first try. So really great stuff. Carlson School of Management, this is our business school. And actually this picture that you're looking at right here is our Carlson School of Management. This is where our finance degrees are gonna be, accounting, entrepreneurial management, international business. Something unique about our Carlson experience is that to graduate, you're gonna have to study abroad. Whether it be 3 weeks, a summer, a semester, a whole year, you're gonna see another part of the world in recognition of our globalizing economy and building your perspective before you go out and work with employers to work in this global marketplace. The College of Science and Engineering, as you can imagine, has our hard sciences like our astrophysics, data science, chemistry, but then we also have 12 different kinds of engineering. Our most popular are the top 3 are biomedical engineering, chemical engineering, and electrical engineering. And part of that is because of major firms that are located right in the Twin Cities area. Also, as a college of Science and Engineering, we are ranked number 4 in the nation. So very good stuff happening there. The College of Liberal Arts, this is our largest college, has about 70 of our majors. So about 30 different language and cultural studies. our humanities, like our within the top 10 ranked psychology program. Shout out to that, I'm an alum of the psych program, as well as sociology, economics, computer science, dance, journalism, music therapy. With this college, if you're someone who is undecided, I encourage you to maybe think about this one first, because this is a college that allows you to really explore and combine maybe your own independent study that is a blend of multiple different majors or interests that fit just for what you're looking for. The College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences, or CFANS for short, they're trying to save the world, preserving our earth through environmental science, environmental policy, fisheries and wildlife preservation, feeding our earth through agricultural and agricultural business, as well as saving the animals through our very, very popular animal science program, which has pre-veterinary tracks. The College of Education and Human Development, early ed, special ed, secondary education, but then we also have human development, so human resources, youth studies, family social sciences. For those maybe interested in physical therapy or occupational therapy, kinesiology is here, as well as our very popular sports management program. The College of Design, architecture is our most popular program here, but then we also offer apparel design, retail merchandising within the top 10 in the country. We offer landscape design, product design. Something unique about this college is that of our 8 colleges, only 2 of them require you to apply directly into your major before you get here. This is one of them. And the reason being that we're having you apply directly into the major is you're going to start getting into your own specialized art and drawing and portfolio building classes literally as soon as you get here. Like your first semester, you're getting into the drawing studio and you're building that portfolio and doing critiquing right away your freshman year, so that by the time that you graduate, you'll have a robust portfolio ready to go for possible employers. The other college where you are applying directly into the major is the School of Nursing, because the only major is nursing. So that's how that works. For the College of Biological Sciences, we are unique is that we are one of few universities where an entire college, all of the majors, all 8 of them, are founded in the study of life. So when you're thinking of biology, biochemistry, neuroscience, cell and genetic development, ecology, this college I have seen is very, very popular for students who might be interested in the medicine field. You do not need to be in this college to be a pre-med student. You actually can be any major you wish and be a pre-med student on our campus. But for the College of Biological Sciences, these majors are just so well geared that they match the pre-med kind of minor track so easily that it's very common and very popular to see pre-med students coming from this college. But again, you do not need to be in this college to be a pre-med student. It's just very popular. Now, we are a Big Ten university, right? 31,000 undergraduate students. However, across the entire university, regardless of major, our student to faculty ratio is 17:1. Not too bad. Actually, 80% of our classes are fewer than 50 students. 64% are fewer than 30 students. So the classes that are more than 50 students, these are typically your introduction classes, right? Intro Psych, Intro Chem, Calc 1 if you're an engineering student. If you get a class that is larger than 50 students, you are guaranteed to get a lecture, discussion-based lecture, or maybe a lab section that it partners with this lecture that caps off at about 30 students and is always with a graduate student or a professor to help you get your questions answered. So you're not completely lost in like a sea of people in that giant bowl when you're looking at a professor. Now for research, we are a top 10 public research university in the country. For us, yes, we are Minnesota's land-grant research facility, which means yes, we have a relationship with the state, but also roughly 90% of all the research done in the entire state of Minnesota goes through our system in some capacity. So there is an immense amount available for our students to get involved in. And you can, absolutely you can, as a freshman. How you get involved in research is through our Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, or UROP for short. Through UROP, you either get connected with a professor who's researching something you're interested in, or you can even propose your own independent project where the university will give you some funding and you'll be paired one-on-one with a professor for mentorship to make sure that your independent project is going smoothly. Now, I will say, we take pride that regardless of major on campus, yeah, you could be a design student, a business student, an economics student, and you can do research. While in this picture, yes, I'm seeing a student who has a white lab coat and is playing with glassware somewhere. Research is just simply taking your question that you want to solve in a very systematic way. So again, any major, you can do research, and it's something I would highly encourage. Now, learning abroad, we have one of the most robust programs in the country. Over 200 different programs spread across more than 60 countries. So while yes, our business school students are required to study abroad, we take pride that everybody else can too. Regardless of major, you can do 3 weeks, a summer, a semester, a year. We just take pride that you have the capacity to study abroad if you choose to. And honestly, any admissions counselor, including myself, if you have the time and the willingness to be able to study abroad while in college, I highly encourage you to do so. It's a way to see another part of our incredible world and also, diversify and build your experience by the time before you graduate. We also offer more than 900 student groups. So our more than 200 multicultural student groups, more than 50 intramural sports teams, maybe our student-led concert series like the Spring Jam. Really, we're just showcasing with this number is if you come to campus and find yourself bored, let's tap back into that come curious mentality. Because I promise you, someone on campus has similar interests to you. You just gotta get out and meet them. Also, it's 2020. We have various different digital ways for you to get connected with student groups, so it is very, very easy to do so. Now, Rah Rah Sky-U-Ma, this is part of our student browser. So we have a lot of our school pride in the state of Minnesota. I mean, we are the flagship public school in the state. We have the largest campus in the state of Minnesota, and we have over 1 million Gopher fans that come to our campus to cheer on our sports teams every year. We have 20 NCAA Division I competitive teams in the Big Ten, 12 women, 8 men. So shout out to the ladies. For our current students, all of our sports are free except for 3: men's football, men's basketball, men's hockey. Those come at discounted rates. So maybe discounted season passes, you can do all 3, or maybe you want to do a combo pack, like I've seen the most popular being the men's hockey, men's football combination. But then also there's discounted single tickets too. But I will say, because of the pride in the state, if Iowa's in town, the tickets are going to be expensive because we got to see Iowa lose. And if Wisconsin is in town, I mean, even now as an alumni, if I lose every single game, especially in the football season, that last game is always against the Badgers. We just got to beat the Badgers. So much pride for our Golden Gophers here. Now, something about the University of Minnesota that I want you all to take away for those of you that are watching this is that our incredible location. Students have asked me what separates Minnesota from other schools. And I would say as a university of our size, our research capability, our programs, our capacities, the fact that we have a major metropolitan city literally in our backyard separates us from others. For other schools, we're not saying you can't get to a major city. It just might be a little harder, maybe a 45-minute drive, maybe an hour drive. But for us, literally your backyard, right? When we look at this train, like I said earlier, you hop the Metro Transit, you ride 4 stops, 20 minutes, and you're in downtown Minneapolis, the skyline you see in the top left. And with this being in your backyard, there's some incredible benefits. Thinking on the professional side, there are 16 Fortune 500 companies that are based in the Twin Cities alone. Some of the examples you see up here, right? 3M, Ecolab, Target, United Health, Land O'Lakes, Medtronic. We are actually second in the nation for Fortune 500 companies per capita, per number of people in the nation, behind only New York City. It's a pretty good company. NYC's got us, but that's a pretty great company. There is an immense amount of practicums, co-ops, internships, shadowing, whatever real life experiences that you could think of. I mean, me as a psych student, I had 3 different internships throughout my 4-year career. So there's just an immense amount of it literally right off this train, right in the cities. But then on the social side, college is more than just sitting in a classroom. What are you gonna do for fun? What are you gonna do on the weekends? Well, in the Twin Cities, again, maybe you hop this train, maybe you wanna go see a show at the illustrious Guthrie Theater, or maybe the Orpheum Theater for more of the national shows coming through. Or maybe you wanna see a concert like at the legendary First Ave, or maybe a more intimate feel at the Armory. Or maybe you're a sports fan like me. 6 professional sports teams literally off this train. So yeah, it was really easy for me to catch like a Wednesday night, college night, NBA game, or a Major League Baseball game. We also have more than 70 different languages and dialects in the Twin Cities with our own cultural and restaurant scene. So really an expansive place that you can explore while you're here at the university. Now, throughout this presentation, I've talked all about the incredible things that we offer at the University of Minnesota. I also want to make sure though that you are all aware of our cost. So Ohio, you are out of state, unfortunately. So I want to make sure I break this down. So for our tuition and fees, for tuition, you are just north of $31,000. For room and board, just north of $10,000. This is the same for everybody. So out of state, Minnesota, reciprocity. As a freshman, you are not required to live on campus. However, if you want to have a meal plan, you have to live in a dorm. So you either have both dorm and meal plan or you have neither. But if you have relatives that live in the area or you want to try apartment life and commute, you can do that, absolutely. We are not going to stop you. However, with this knowledge in mind, roughly 90% of our freshmen do live on campus their first year. There's also the miscellaneous fees, and then we get to these totals down here. So the difference between these is that if you are in our College of Science and Engineering or our Carlson School of Management, this is the business school and the engineering school, they have a $2,000 a year surcharge for their facilities to maintain their state-of-the-art facilities. So they are the 50,000 number. Everybody else is the 48,000 number. This is before any scholarships, any loans, any work study, any of that involved. So when you apply, you are automatically considered for merit-based scholarships across the entire university. Nothing more you need to do. It's a blessing because you don't need to do anything, but it's also a curse because no one else does either. It is a competitive scholarship situation. I mean, we received roughly 40,000 applications for around 6,200 spots last year. And while we appreciate this many applications and this much demand, it makes it hard because we can't give scholarships to everybody. So one scholarship I want you all to know about is out-of-state students, is the national scholarship. This applies to just out-of-state domestic students. So not Minnesota, not reciprocity, not international, just out-of-state. It ranges in 4 levels, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 a year, each year for the 4 years that you're here. However, as an example to showcase competitiveness, the $10,000 a year scholarship typically goes to students who are like in the top 10% of their high school class amongst other competitive factors. Now, I'm not telling you that to say that you have to be in the top 10% of your high school to get this scholarship, not at all. I'm just showcasing that how competitive it can be to get these scholarships. We also have a 13 credit flat rate policy. So for us, everything after 13 credits, basically free. 13, it's a flat cost the same. So 18 credits, same cost as 13. 20 credits, same cost as 13. So if you're like most of our students, and you take about 16 to 18 credits a semester, 4 to 6 classes, and you graduate in 4 years, like we're all assuming you will, by the time you graduate, you have earned an entire semester worth of free credits, just to showcase the benefit of this policy. Now, admissions, get to the nitty-gritty. What does it take to get to our campus? So for us, we ask you to complete one application. By that, we're just meaning either the Golden Gopher application, is our in-house application, or the Common App. Either is fine. Honestly, last year, about 65% of our admitted students completed the Common App. And as an admissions counselor, I highly encourage you to do the Common App because it allows you to send it to multiple schools and not have to do it over and over. And we are totally cool with that. What it considers you for, obviously, is freshman admission. You're automatically considered for our honors program, nothing you need to do there, as well as you're automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, like I just talked about. What a complete application includes is completing the application form, like you should, self-reported academic record. So by that, we are expecting you to download or locate your unofficial transcript, import your courses and grades from 9th grade onwards yourself. The reason we did this is that as incredible as your counselors are, we didn't want you to have to go to anyone else to be able to complete your application. We wanted you to be able to do it in your time. You do it one day if you want to. However, so with that in mind, do not send us your initial transcripts. Don't send them to us. We won't take them. It has to be self-reported. Now, when we get to the end, if you are admitted and decide you want to enroll to our university, we will ask for an official final high school transcript over the summer. But for the sake of the application, all self-reported. We also ask for a $55 application fee. For fall 2021, we are no tests required. I can't speak to beyond 2021. I don't have those answers at this time. But for the sake of the fall 2021 application, we do not require an ACT. We do not require an SAT. However, you can provide it if you wish to. How that works is when you get to the application, there's going to be a question, either yes to consider your test scores or no to consider your test scores. Depending on what you pick, you are locked in on that pick. You cannot change your mind later on. So please be careful when you're going through the application. Now, how does this work? How do they weigh together? So when we do review, we do a holistic review, which means we look at everything about you that you provide to us. We've put them in 2 overarching themes: academic factors and context factors. Academic factors carry the most weight because, you know, academic preparation is key to how you're going to perform in college. Academic factors include your courses and the grades you took throughout high school, the rigor of these courses, maybe some of the specific courses, like if you're interested in engineering, we want to see your math coursework, your GPA, class rank if you can provide it. If you can't, that's okay. Most schools don't do that these days. Totally fine. Just give us your GPA. Unweighted or weighted, doesn't matter. Just we'll take your GPA. And then the test scores. So they're all kind of weighing together, right? If you don't decide to provide a test score, it just means we're putting more emphasis on everything else. So it kind of depends on how you want to construct your application. If maybe you're someone who has very strong grades and maybe a low test score, don't give us the test score. If maybe you're someone whose grades are a little bit lower than you want them to be, but you have a really strong test score, then give us the test score. However you want to create the best application for yourself. Then we have context factors. These are things that are happening outside of the classroom. So leadership involvement, community involvement, extenuating circumstances that you want us to be aware of. How you provide them to us is through essays and letters of recommendation, which are not required. They're optional for you. So students ask me whether or not they should provide these, and I would say every single application that we receive, all 40,000 let's say, is going to be read by, at minimum, 2 people, every single one. So when you submit your application, these people are very likely not going to have any idea who you are yet, right? They haven't met you. So how do you want to present yourself? Do you want to lean on your academic capability and just lead with the grades and coursework? Which you can, absolutely. Or do you want to provide more context to yourself as a student outside of the classroom? That is totally an option for you to decide. Now, our deadlines. So we have early action, which is November 1st, and regular decision, which is January 1st. We are not binding at all. I know some schools do something called early decision, which is like you kind of sign a contract that if you get admitted, you'll go there. We are not that way at all. While we'd love to have you come to our university, we are not requiring it. So you definitely can apply and walk away if you choose to. Now, the difference between these two deadlines, students have asked me if I apply by early action, does that make me more admissible? For us, not at all. The only difference between these two deadlines for the University of Minnesota Twin Cities is that if you apply by early action, you may possibly get an admission decision sooner. It could either be admit, defer, or deny. Admit and deny are pretty straightforward. Defer just simply means we need to take more time with your application and we're going to add you to the regular decision pool. That's all that means. Equal consideration for honors, admission, and scholarships. Now, I will say, if you are interested in the School of Nursing, they are special in that they are the only program on campus that requires you to apply by November 1st. So if you're interested in our nursing program, you must apply by November 1st. Also, the School of Nursing is the only program that is going to actually require you to complete 3 supplemental essay questions that are about 150 words each. You will have to complete those as well for the nursing application. Also the only school that does this. Everyone else, you can wait till January 1st if you choose to. So now, before I talk about the numbers on this grid on this slide, I'm going to look at the minimum high school coursework first. This high school coursework requirements are based on what it takes to graduate in the state of Minnesota. Ohio, you're not Minnesota, and I know that. That is A-okay. These requirements are not strict requirements. So if you are otherwise admissible and you might miss one of these, that's okay. This would not be the reason we're going to deny you. However, our most competitive applicants meet or exceed all of these expectations. So if you can meet them, I encourage you, please do. So you have your 4 years English, 4 years math. For the 3 years science, if you are interested in the College of Biological Sciences or the College of Science and Engineering, we are looking for biology, chemistry, and physics. Please get those 3 done. Every other major, you do not have to complete those 3 particularly. It is just for those particular colleges. We're also looking for 3 years of social studies, 2 years of the same second language. So Spanish 1, Spanish 2, not Spanish 1, French 1. If you speak Spanish, not Spanish, but if you speak English as a second language, then you do not have to do this. Or if maybe you have like a proficiency recognized by maybe your state, that is also something you need to bypass this as well as a year of visual and/or performing arts. Now, this grid. So this is fall 2019 data. I would say I have 2020 data. It's not compiled in quite a nice visual presentation as this is here. So I like to use this because it's easier to look at, frankly. But 2020 is exactly the same. So don't worry, 2020 looks just like this. These numbers are the middle 50%. This is not a cutoff by any means at all whatsoever. If you're a little bit below these numbers, we'll still admit you. It just means it's going to be a little harder to get in. That's all this means, just to show ballpark of the competitiveness. And like I said earlier, you're actually applying to your top 2 colleges of interest. And because you're not just applying to the university overall, some of our colleges are more competitive than others. For example, the College of Science and Engineering is the most competitive college on campus, right? So like with the overall to the universities at 27 to 32, their overall middle 50% ACT was a 30 to 34, right? 1310 versus 1380. Just like for overall for the university, typically top 20% of their high school class, whereas engineering is the top 10% of their high school class. So if your school doesn't do high school rank, that's totally fine. Don't worry, just give us your GPA. The reason we present it like this is because we work with so many schools where their GPA systems are all over the place, maybe a 6, 8, 10, 12, so much more than just a 4. So we don't put that in here. But really we're just saying is like if you're a top 10% student, you're typically straight A's. If you're like a top 20% student, you're typically straight, like all A's and B's, maybe a C or 2. So if we go back to whether or not you should submit a test score or not, what I would say is as you look at maybe your college of interest, if your test score is not somewhere within this middle 50%, I just say don't give it to us. Don't worry about it. Especially if you are someone who might be in the top 10% of your high school or in the top at least 20-ish percent, 15%, you can just lean heavier in your grades. But if you're someone that maybe your GPA or grades, maybe you have a couple C's that put you a little bit outside of that and you have a really good test score, then absolutely provide your test score. Again, it's up for you how you want to present the most competitive application for yourself that you wish to provide. And now, here's me wearing my favorite shirt. I'm not wearing it today, but this is my information. So for those of you that watch this today, I hope that you can take my information off of this slide. You can either like screenshot it or you can take the phone number or the email. The phone number leads to my work cell phone right here. So you can absolutely get connected by calling me or texting me or sending me an email as well. So I will leave it on this slide for just a moment so you all can see it. And then I switch to one more slide in just about a minute or so to showcase our admissions webpage for more answers as well. And that's the admissions page. So thank you all for watching this today. I appreciate your time, and that is it for me.
Thank you. And when you close this window today, there will be a link for a quick 4-question survey. So we'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, keep in mind this is just one of many presentations being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at oacac.org, and you'll be able to find this session's recording, which some of you may be listening to, as well as all of the other session recordings at oacac.org. Thank you.
Thank you.